Yes, I think. Good evening, Mukesh sir. Can you uh, see
Yes,
me? Can
Pratik,
you?
you are audible and we can start.
Good. So, thank you. So, today's session is about the needs and ways of professional growth of a teacher. So, this session we are going to start on the platform of Patliputra Sahodaya, and I thank Dr. Rajiv Ranjan sir for giving me an opportunity where I can share this views of mine on the platform of Sahodaya under the COE Patna, and I thank the COE in charge Patna, Dr. Jagdish Burman sir, who's a regional officer of Patna CBSE. And with that, I think that we should start because already it's 4 p.m. exact. So I'll be starting my session with one video. I request all the viewers to kindly pay attention. This is something which is directly connected with this, and hope you all will like it. video. He is a very good orator. Apart from that, on this in this video, he made a presentation of almost 4 minutes of his experience of life. So somehow I managed to get this one to share with all my learned friends, because today's topic is needs and ways of professional growth of a teacher, which cannot be addressed unless until we understand how to proceed with the you can say the problems and remedies of students problem. So we need to work on that one, and with that I start this session today. So just a moment. Yes, thank you. So we are going for the professionalism, and then there is some, you have some quotes, that definitions. So these definitions are defining basically what is professionalism. So before I start this professionalism, I would like to share few things that why actually we require to be a professional when we talk about the school education, when we talk about the teachers, how their teachers are going to get growth out of this. With this, actually, we need to connect it together. So the growth the teachers would attain only if they are more organized. Like a dictionary contains every word in this world, but dictionary does not actually fulfills the criteria of assembled, you can say the words which will give you a shape of a book. You take any book of the world written in any language, these are all the jugglings of words which is assembled in a way to make a meaning, which is missing in case of dictionary, which is the same when you compare with a teacher. A teacher is a teacher because he or she is having a degree. A teacher is a teacher because he or she actually is appointed in an organization. A teacher is a teacher when he and she is getting some classes to handle. A teacher is a teacher when he and she gets a complete, you can say, remuneration from a particular set which is there in a school system. So you become a teacher, no doubt about that one. But getting a teacher's position and getting a soul inside the teacher's soul is a two different thing. And even if you have the soul, how you are going to justify your presence? So how this you can justify only when you stake yourself with a quality, when you sharpen your skill time to time. And that's the reason today we are talking about needs and ways of professional growth of a teacher. Because if we don't grow, then we will perish. If we grow, we will flourish. So, professionalism, and that is defined as conduct or the qualities that characterized or mark an individual holding an occupation. Skill level, of course, but also good judgment and polite behavior that is expected from a person who is trained to do a job well. So, first of all, you should be a quality. You should have the quality. You should actually be characterized or mark an individual holding. आप एक अपने आप को आप प्रोड्यूस करते हो कहीं पर एज अ टीचर, तो योर क्वालिटी शुड स्पीक, your presence itself should speak about your conduct and behavior. If you have this one, you have this level of skills, तो फिर definitely people will accept you as a professional. Professionals की जब हम बात करते हैं तो we are also taking a very negative sense of professionalism. Like, I'll give you example that kabhi, like when we are talking about the people, those who are maybe you go to a shop and you want to purchase certain things with 10 rupees costing, and you ask the person to bargain, and the shopkeeper fails to entertain you. देन से नहीं कुछ भी हो जाएगा, आई विल नॉट गिव यू लेस देन दिस अमाउंट। तो आप बोलते हैं कि बड़ा प्रोफेशनल हो भाई, हाँ, यू आर नॉट गिविंग मी दिस, you are very professional. Basically, where this time you are using this word as a sarcasm. ये एक sarcastic एक वे में लोग यूज करते हैं, but basically you see the crux is the shopkeeper is not ready to compromise his price because he know the quality of the things what he or she is actually selling. So even though it is sarcasm, but यहाँ पर professionalism का मतलब होता है the people those who don't compromise in the quality. They don't compromise in the quality, they don't compromise with the quantity. And therefore, they can afford to stay rigid. On rigidness is not a professionalism, but the quality what they are talking is a professionalism. Now, we talk about few agenda we have today that we are going to discuss about. That is the importance of the first impression. ये एक टीचर जब आप प्रोफेशनलिज्म को लेकर के आप आगे बढ़ना चाहते हैं, in that case, how your first impression as a teacher makes you a better teacher, and it gives the impression to the students that you are a better teacher or a better person or a better presenter. Similarly, listening skills concept, then positive and effective communication, and the importance of effective and efficient communication. So the role of these four are actually the agenda what we are going to work on today. Now, it's very common that we all know that it takes years to build a reputation and 5 minutes to ruin it. And definitely, we are talking about the professionalism, the three powers, that is altitude. This I am going to discuss it later. Let's talk about the first impression. So I remember when the first time in class 5 or 6, when we start thinking, when I was student, so we used to rate teachers on two grounds, basically. As a student, I'm talking about. First is, since we had come from a very mediocre family, so the who can speak better English. So if a teacher was speaking a good and presentable English, definitely that teacher used to be the favorite for many. And second one, the teachers, those who we used to wear a good attire, जिनके कपड़े बहुत साफ सुथरा थे, बहुत प्रेजेंटेबल थे, तो उनको भी हम लोग बहुत अच्छे टीचर्स मानते थे. And the reasons were there because we haven't seen people so well dressed in the village. So generally, I've seen people wearing maybe the dhoti, kurta, maybe sometimes trousers, but then there you won't be getting in, like in our time, 1980s. I'm talking about the people with a very professional attire, except and unless you visit some urban centers or you visit people in a college or universities where you generally find professors wearing suits and all that. इतने corporate sectors भी नहीं थे, so the dress was basically, it is something which you can see only in movies. So the teacher, those who used to come with a good attire, well presented, and the language was good. In our time, we used to consider them the good teachers or the best teachers. Basically, I'm talking about the English medium schools, but Hindi medium schools also. Many of my friends, colleagues, and the educators, those on the platform, they will also agree with me that many of the teachers, those were in the Bihar board or maybe some other schools, they may be wearing maybe dhoti kurta, but one thing was very common, their dhoti and kurta used to be very clean. तो ये इंपॉर्टेंट नहीं था कि वो क्या पहन रहे हैं, ये इंपॉर्टेंट जरूर था जो वो पहन रहे हैं बहुत साफ सुथरा और बहुत ही अच्छा प्रेजेंटेबल था. उनकी आइडेंटिटी, उनकी पर्सनालिटी में तीन चीजें बहुत अच्छे से झलक कर रही. उनकी बॉडी लैंग्वेज, टोन ऑफ वॉइस एंड वर्ड्स जो अपने वो यूज करते थे, जो शब्दों को यूज करते थे, दे होल्ड ए की इंपॉर्टेंट रोल. See, I'll share a few of the examples, or you can say the experiences. I remember one of the principal of a government school in Madhubani, the school was called Watson School. I don't know what is the name of the school now, but it was one of the best school Madhubani district was having. That was called Watson School. Watson School में जो principal हुआ करता, I'm not recalling the name of the principal, but he was very lean, thin person. धोती कुर्ता पहन के आते थे, and his height was hardly 5 feet 2 inches. But the moment he used to get inside the school premises, पूरे स्कूल में कर्फ्यू लग जाती थी. मीन्स सर आ गए तो यू विल नॉट फाइंड एनी केस ऑफ इनडिसिप्लिन. इनफैक्ट जब सर गेट से बाहर जाते थे तो वो रोड है जो कचहरी रोड बोलते हैं, उस रोड पर लोगों को पता था कि मास्टर साहब आ रहे हैं, प्रिंसिपल सर आ रहे हैं, तो ठेला वाला डिसिप्लिन हो जाता था, रिक्शा वाला डिसिप्लिन हो जाता था. बच्चे छोड़ दीजिए, अभिभावक भी जो थे वो भी अपने अपने साइड पकड़ते, प्रिंसिपल सर आ रहे हैं. सो देयर वाज नो जेड सिक्योरिटी, देयर वाज नो सिक्योरिटी प्रोवाइड फ्रॉम द स्टेट गवर्नमेंट. इट वाज हिज ओन अर्निंग. ये उनकी कमाई थी, उनकी कंडक्ट थी, उनके डिसिप्लिन थे और उनका वो एक तरीका था. तो प्रिंसिपल उन्होंने जो प्रिंसिपलशिप उन्होंने अटेन किया, वो अटेन ऐसे ही नहीं किया. विथ हिज हार्ड वर्क ऑफ मे बी 50 years. He was means 50 years means like 50 years of age he was at that time when he became principal. So almost like 20 years to जरूर 25 years to जरूर उन्होंने नौकरी की होगी. तो 25 years जो उन्होंने स्कूल में discipline inculcate किया, that was reflected on road also. That was reflected when he was walking. That was reflected when he was talking to the students, parents. तो ये कर्फ्यू डराने वाली कर्फ्यू नहीं थी. This curfew was out of respect. जैसे when you offer prayer, we don't shout. We offer prayer sometimes in silence. तो ये उस तरह का silence था. People used to respect their leader like that. So this is the importance of first impression जो मैं अभी बता रहा हूँ. That is 55% of the body language is holding a key role, and definitely it holds because the way you walk inside the class, the way you walk in the corridors, when you find that students are not watching you on the road with your friends. So a teacher who wants to be a leader and who wants to be you can say the trendsetter, they need to work on the body language. Number one. Number two, the voice, the tone in which you are connecting with your students, that absolutely has to be checked. आपकी voice modulation ऐसी होनी चाहिए that you make the students spellbound. And words what we use is very important. ये बहुत जरूरी नहीं, इसको ये बहुत important है. Like basically when in India we talk about English education, you find we have got the influence of two line of thoughts. One is the American school of thought, second is the British school of thought. तो ब्रिटिश स्कूल ऑफ थॉट से जो लोग प्रेरित हैं, हाँ, तो आप देखेंगे उनकी लैंग्वेज बहुत ही क्लियर होगी, साफ सुथरी होगी. एंड द वर्ड्स व्हाट दे आर यूजिंग जनरली दे यूज बाय सीइंग द ऑडियंस, कि ऑडियंस जिस लेवल की है आप वर्ड्स को उतने सिंप्लीफाई करते हैं सो दैट एवरीवन कैन अंडरस्टैंड यू. एंड दैट्स द ब्यूटी ऑफ a good leader, that you need to reach out to the people. You can't expect people to sit with dictionary and find your words relevant. Like generally, I compare this thing with maybe Shashi Tharoor. He's a very good speaker. He's a Congress leader, but apart from being the Congress leader, he is a very good orator. He is a very good speaker. But at the same time, if you listen, Mr. Shashi Tharoor, Honorable Member of Parliament, you will find that he enjoys when people don't understand his language, and probably that he has learned it from St. Stephen's College, Delhi. St. Stephen College, Delhi products, most of them, they feel privilege. They find themselves to be the elite class, elite, you can say, uh, scholars who can speak some language, English, with lot of icing on that language, so that people struggle to catch hold of them, and this gives them pleasure. So this type of pleasure they can afford to take but not teachers. We as a teacher should definitely have lot of vocabulary skills, but I always propagate that we should use the language which can be understood by even the animals or cattle sitting next to your class. Forget about the human beings. Human beings definitely should understand it. So we are not there to demonstrate our knowledge. We are there to make people understand what we are being paid for. And that makes you a good professional and it adds to your growth as a team leader. So let me break now. Now we will be discussing about the body language. So, first one, most people are familiar with the typical tips, including maintaining eye contact, don't cross your arms, don't fidget, etc. Lesser known tips जो हैं हमारे वो did you know that people remember twice as much information due to gestures? It's true, effective use of gestures make a big impact. Don't use random wasted gestures. For example, take a look at the palms of your hand. Did you know that the palm immediately relaxes your eyes? It's true, but sure to keep your palm open when gesturing. Don't show the back of your hand. This shows you are open to the discussion. Now, this is one what the slide is meant about, but actually when we talk about the body languages, तो बहुत सारी ऐसी चीजें हैं जो हमें प्रैक्टिस करनी है, but we practice also. And the best part I have used earlier also in one of my session that you when you read out something and you speak out something, दो प्रैक्टिस करनी चाहिए. Number one, if possible, make your own recording. Nowadays, it is very easy because most of us, we are having mobile, we are taking online classes also, and you have the provision of recording your classes. But when we take the online classes, right now, suppose if I'm taking the session, so I'm sitting here and then I'm talking to all my friends, participants, those who are attending this workshop. But what is restricting me is I am sitting over here. So probably you are able to see me half, but you don't know my body gestures. You can see some of my movements, but you don't know my hand movements, my leg movement and all that. तो ये एक प्रॉब्लम्स हैं जब हम मैं बैठ के क्लास ले रहा हूँ. Suppose if I'm standing over there and I do the recording, probably my entire movement will be visible, and that movement will give you the tips whether the movement what I have is negative, neutral, or positive. If you find it positive, that means probably I'm approachable, I'm reachable to all members sitting in the class or maybe the auditorium or in the symposium. If my body language is found to be neutral, it is neutral means it is not getting attracted. It's not, people are not finding it catchy. In such cases, we say it's a neutral. And neutral means you are not effective. Your presentability is not effective. And the third one is aggressive. Now, aggressive is basically negative. The reason is you try to prove your point with your body language and not with your thinking competency. And wonderful examples are the TV news, what we see today. In evening, every day, almost in all channels of India, you find they fight. They make people fight to each other and they call it debate. Basically, nobody is going to and nobody is actually doing any debate. Rather, they fight and they fight to prove the point. That is the reason I have shown you the video before starting my presentation. That लड़ाई वो जो करते हैं वो बिल्कुल मारपीट के नजदीक है, वो लड़ाई भी नहीं है. और लड़ाई क्या बोलते हैं, दैट ऑलरेडी यू हैव लिसन इट minutely what exactly I wanted to convey you. Now, next second one is जैसे हम टेबल पर खाना खाने बैठते हैं अपने परिवार के साथ और आपको कोई चीज चाहिए, सब्जी चाहिए, आपको चपाती चाहिए, आपको चावल चाहिए, तो आप कैसे बोलते हैं सभ्यता से? आपके पिताजी के पास बैठा है, वो सामान रखी है, तो आप क्या बोलते हैं? पापा वो दे दीजिए, काइंडली उसको बढ़ा दें, कैन आई हैव ए बटर प्लीज। तो ये जो बोलने का तरीका होता है, जब आप खाने के मेज पर बैठे रहते हैं, तहजीब से बैठते हैं, सो एट दैट टाइम यू आर सो पोलाइट, यू आर सो काम, योर लैंग्वेज इज सो सूदिंग। तो ये जो टोन ऑफ वॉइस है, दिस इज एक्चुअली वेरी नाइस। तो जब हम लीडरशिप की बात करते हैं और टीचर्स के प्रोफेशनल ग्रोथ की बात करते हैं, तो द गुड टीचर्स आर सच टीचर्स हु मेंटेन दिस लेवल ऑफ पिच। ये उस लेवल ऑफ पिच को मैनेज करते हैं। नाउ मेनी ऑफ अस इवन क्वेश्चन कि सर ये कैसे पॉसिबल है? 40 बच्चे क्लास में बैठते हैं, इतने हंगामा करेंगे, और इफ माय टोन इज पोलाइट, देन हाउ आई विल बी एबल टू make my presentation? How the students will what we call hear me? So one thing is very clear. Let me tell you, like I have seen schools where the teacher and the principal, they don't scream, there they talk. And when you talk, people will understand you. When you scream, your maximum part of your oral skills will go down the drain. लोग आपके लैंग्वेज स्किल्स की ध्यान नहीं करेंगे, सिर्फ आपकी जो साउंड पॉल्यूशन है, नॉइज पॉल्यूशन है, लोग उसको सुनेंगे या उसको किनारे करेंगे, एंड दे विल once they will tolerate, twice they will tolerate, but then they will start taking your views lightly. So you will be irrelevant in coming repetition, you will be irrelevant. So a teacher first should avoid any harsh language. Number one. Number two, you need to be polite, you need to be soothing, you need to be calm so that you should be taken seriously. आप दो तीन लोगों की फोटोग्राफ देखिए. I'll give you example of these people. Maybe my first choice will be maybe Rabindranath Tagore, Swami Vivekanand, Abdul Kalam. So these are few legends. But when you see the photographs of these people, or maybe the portraits, or maybe the paintings, or the video, you will never find them shouting. In the face itself, it is quite visible. A common man can see and view that the look is calm, the look is soothing. और जो calmness होती है ना, उसके अंदर में इतना knowledge होता है, the people fear. People never fear with people who shout, but the people fear with people who are calm. एक छोटी सी एक्सपेरिमेंट हम लोगों के क्लास में बहुत पहले हुआ करता था. I used to like I still remember there were teacher who used to get inside the class और सारे हम लोग बहुत हल्ला करते थे, बच्चे लोग बातचीत करते रहते थे और वो चुपचाप आके क्लास में खड़ी होते थे for 1 minute. And her presence inside the class used to tell us that now the lion is inside. So there has to be only one king, and that king has to be the teacher. और उसके बाद हम लोग शांत होते थे. इसलिए नहीं कि हम लोग डरते थे कि वो मारेंगी मैम, इसलिए क्योंकि हम लोग को पता था कि हम लोग शांत नहीं होंगे, शी विल नॉट टीच, एंड इफ शी वोंट टीच वी विल मिस हर क्लास, विच वी नेवर विश टू मिस हर क्लास. ये बहुत जरूरी है डियर टीचर्स टू अंडरस्टैंड that if you are wasting your time in shouting, that means somewhere something is wrong. It is the right time to reevaluate your class, reevaluate and polish your skills, what you have learned in your B.Ed, and think if you cannot control your students with the eye movement, you can't actually hold them with your hand movements. So, better we should restrict and work on self. Now, next one, the word we use. सो जनरली आप जो लिंगोज यूज करना चाहते हैं, विच आई टोल्ड यू इन केस ऑफ शशि थरूर, कि ऐसे वर्ड्स यूज करना है साइन लैंग्वेज किसी खास सब्जेक्ट के लिए, सो इफ यू आर यूजिंग इट, यू आर डी एसोसिएटेड विद द क्राउड, एंड वंस यू आर डी एसोसिएटेड, आप खुद ही खत्म हो जाएंगे. आई विल गिव यू एग्जांपल ओवर हियर आल्सो. संस्कृत इज अ very old language, in fact the second oldest language of India, और जो ये सबसे पुराने में से एक लैंग्वेज है. बट ये क्यों ऐसा हुआ that संस्कृत slowly is not being accepted? People started discarding Sanskrit. What is the use? What is the reason? Sorry, इसकी रीजन ये रही, जो संस्कृत में पढ़ाते थे, पढ़ते थे, या anyone who was speaking Sanskrit at that time started feeling that they are from the elite section of the society. When they started feeling that they are from the elite section of the society, and this knowledge I will not pass it to anyone else except the people those are from my family, slowly this what we call the art or this vidya started depleting. और आज के डेट की अपनी है, whatever बची कुची संस्कृत बची हुई है, that no student is willing to take Sanskrit. Why? The reason is we are not allowing that we are not allowing them to understand the importance of Sanskrit. कहीं ना कहीं ये सारी चीजें, आई एम नॉट ओनली अबाउट टॉकिंग अबाउट संस्कृत, बट एनी लैंग्वेज व्हाट गेट्स depleted from the surface is because somehow we have made these languages practitioner feel that you are elite, and therefore it actually gets uprooted from the common man. तो जब हम लोग कॉमन मैन से उसको अप्रूव कर लिए, तो हमारी सारी की सारी जो चीजें हैं वो वहीं के धरी की धरी रह गई, एंड स्लोली ये लिंगोस बन गए. नाउ एक्सट्रीम वर्ड्स, I think that this is also correct that teachers should not use words like never, there is always, very often, or usually better left unsaid. एंड यूज पॉजिटिव मैसेजिंग. आप हमेशा पॉजिटिव मैसेजिंग करें. जो ऑप्टिज्म हम लोग बोलते हैं उसको फॉलो करना चाहिए. दैट इज मोर इम्पैक्ट, हैविंग मोर इम्पैक्ट. Communicating in this way will change the way your listeners received your feedback, and it should be personal, encouraging, passionate, and empowering. Abhi, I also again try to give you example of this one. Like when we were in schools, those days we used to get the mark sheets, जिसको रिपोर्ट कार्ड बोलते थे, वन पेजर, एक पेज होते थे, फोल्ड हो जाते थे. तो जब उसको ओपन किया जाता था, और एक क्लास में अगर 80 बच्चे थे, तो लगभग 70 बच्चों को एक ही तरह के रिमार्क्स होते थे. यू कैन डू बेटर, यू आर एक्सेलेंट, गुड, बेटर, बेस्ट, बस. क्यों? क्योंकि टीचर हैज टू गिव अ कमेंट, राइट वन कमेंट. तो राइट कमेंट, एंड दे हैव 80 स्टूडेंट्स इन वन क्लास, वन सेक्शन. तो अब सारे का डिस्क्रिप्टिव हो नहीं सकता था, तो टीचर वो क्या करते थे, वन लाइन का उसमें एक लाइनर बना के रखते थे. यू कैन डू बेटर, वेल डन, गुड, excellent, keep it up. These are the common anecdotes which the students used to get at that time. और किसी भी बच्चे को मैंने नहीं देखा, आप 1980s से लेकर 1990s तक की आप किसी भी स्कूल की रिपोर्ट कार्ड निकाल के देखें, वेरी रेयर यू विल फाइंड अ descriptive you can say comments by the teacher regarding any child, and that too with the name. Definitely it's rare to see. But now situation has changed. Lot of educational reforms took place. The bodies like CU has come up. Sahodiyas are coming up with a lot of training sessions, and slowly we understood that teaching, school teaching, no longer is a time pass job. एक समय में चलो कुछ क्या क्या करना, तो बगल में स्कूल खुला, चलो उसमें नौकरी कर लेते हैं. This was the mindset few years back, and many of the teachers, they used to do it because they had a lot of time, they were housewives. But अब ये बहुत कम है या नहीं है. The reason, thanks to this type of training that has been introduced to the school education, that आपको 50 hours training करनी है, तो you cannot be a time pass teacher. And when we are talking about this, so of course I mean that जितने भी टीचर्स हैं अभी, तो थोड़ी सी और टाइम लगेंगे when we will be having complete 4 year course for the teachers, and people will come to teaching because they want teaching to be their career. तो इसके अंदर में हम लोगों को उस वक्त बहुत मेहनत नहीं करनी होगी because people are already motivated, and motivated people will only perform at that time. Now also we have a very good team all across India. We have good, you can say, set of teachers, those who are teaching in almost all CBSE schools, and this training is helping them a lot. I hope that you all will agree with me. So what do you think are the keys to a strong first impression? क्या ऐसी चीजें जो आपको लगता है फर्स्ट इंप्रेशन के लिए जो बहुत इफेक्टिव चीज है? सो पहला है एसेंशियल्स ऑफ लिसनिंग, जो सुनना। किसी भी चीजों को आप सुनते हैं तो उसको आप एक लीडर्स के लिए सबसे बड़ी जो चीज है वो सुनना। नेगेटिव लिसनिंग हैबिट्स टू बी अवॉइडेड। नाउ द फेकर्स, आई नो, जो फेक होते हैं उसको हम लोग बोलते हैं ठग। तो जो ठगबाज हैं, जो ठगने वाले लोग हैं, तो वो कैसे होते हैं क्लास के अंदर या आपके ग्रुप के अंदर में, वो हमेशा अपना सर हिलाते रहेंगे ऐसे ऐसे, आपको आई कांटेक्ट, बट वो सो जाएंगे। हाँ, गिविंग योर ओकेजनल दे विल बी गिविंग यू आंसर्स आल्सो, बट एक्चुअली उनको कुछ समझ में नहीं आ रही है। सो सो दिस वी नीड टू बी वेरी केयरफुल। इफ यू आर नॉट अलर्ट, दे कैन इजिली मेक फूल ऑफ यू। एक है जो आपको बार बार तंग करेंगे, इंटरप्ट करेंगे। हाँ, दे विल नेवर अलाउ यू टू कंप्लीट योर सेंटेंस एंड विल बी क्लैरिफाइंग क्वेश्चंस। वो आपको ऐसा प्रतीत करेंगे कि हर वक्त उनके पास कितने सारे सवाल हैं, बहुत विद्वान व्यक्ति है, बट एक्चुअली दे आर गेटिंग द प्लेजर ऑफ इंटरप्टिंग यू अगेन एंड अगेन। एक होता है जो उसको बोलते हैं हम लोग द क्विक स्विच। So this person is of a nature that keeps on shifting. Favorite line उनके जो रहेंगे, oh nothing here, what happened to me, I remember when I was such type of communication skill you will be finding with the quick switcher. ना रिबटल मेकर, जो हम लोग बोलते हैं कि रुक रुक करके करने, है ना, रुक रुक के जो बात करते हैं, ओनली लिसन्स लॉन्ग इनफ टू फॉर्म ए रिबटल। एट देयर वर्स्ट दे आर आर्गुमेंटेटिव एंड वांट टू प्रूव यू रॉन्ग। हाँ, एट मिनिमम द पर्सन वांट्स टू मेक द स्पीकर सी द अदर पॉइंट ऑफ व्यू। एंड एडवाइस गिवर, जो आपको हमेशा अकल बांटते चलेंगे। तो ये चीजों को हमें अवॉइड करनी होगी if you want to be a good listener, if you want to be a good listener, that can help you to be a good presenter and you can be a good leader tomorrow. तो ये चीजों को हमें अवॉइड करनी है। Effective listening techniques. So give your full attention, clear your mind, desk and hands. Face the speaker and maintain eye contact and concentrate. तो सबसे पहले क्या होती है कि जबकि आप अपने प्री डिटरमाइंड माइंड से नहीं बैठे हैं, if you are listening someone, let for example I'll give you, I will not name anyone, but still, see, you always come across with maybe uh, views of some political leaders. So when you get the view, you become a part of that one and you also formulate your own view. You may not have a bad experience with that person, but since everyone is talking, so you also make it a point, yes, he may be like that, and that comes your एक आपकी वहां पे बन रहती है। सो डोंट जज पीपल विथ व्हाट अदर सेज। आप कभी भी और कभी भी चीजों को सुनने के लिए बैठे तो प्री डिटरमाइंड माइंड से ना बैठे। हाँ, तो आपके लिए ये बहुत अच्छा होगा। हैव एन ओपन माइंड, आप बिल्कुल अपने न्यूट्रल अवस्था में बैठे। यू शुड सिट टू लिसन एनीवन विद अ न्यूट्रल माइंडसेट। अवॉइड इंटरप्टिंग, suggesting solution too soon can be frustrating to the speaker. ये चीजों को अगर आप अवॉइड करते हैं तो आप स्पीकर को सहयोग करते हैं, अदरवाइज नो। You can ask questions and acknowledge that you understand the student and the co-worker. अगर आपको समझ में आ जाती है, you also should give them thanks. Now, I'll give you here one very good example. Like when we started teaching, so at that time, we used to teach with one book that was called Principles of Geography by Charles Farrow. Now, this book was very thick and it was for class 8 students. When I started teaching the student, I myself was not very good with the language. So I asked my students that I will teach you, but you need to teach me language. And when I teach you, after teaching, you need to tell me how much you have understood. So once we started coming on the one platform, the students also felt that yes, we need to help sir with the language because his language probably is not as good as his subject content. So subject content, I used to explain them with the diagrams, I used to explain them with the chart, I used to explain them with the globes, but my language skill was not as polished those days. So there my students helped me to learn language. So this is all what we need to understand कि आपके जो जिनको आप पढ़ा रहे हैं अगर वो आपकी बातों को समझ रहे हैं तो योर वर्क इज डन 100%. नाउ इफेक्टिव लिसनिंग टेक्निक्स. सबसे पहले तो जो आप जिनसे बात कर रहे हैं उनको खत्म करने दें, फिर क्वेश्चन पूछें. अब क्वेश्चन कब पूछें? when you wanted to ensure yourself with understanding types of questions, फिर आप करें. try to feel what the speaker is feeling. अगर आप अगर एक अच्छे टीचर हैं तो अगर आप कोई कहानी नरेट कर रहे हैं जो खुशी की है तो दैट एक्सप्रेशन हैज टू बी ऑन योर फेस. हाँ, जैसे आप देखें किसी भी अभी रिसेंटली एक बहुत अच्छे संतूर वादक हमारे जो हिंदुस्तानी क्लासिकल कहते हैं उनकी मृत्यु हो गई, उनका देहांत हो गया. तो हम लोगों ने उनकी प्रोग्राम्स कई दफे देखे थे दिल्ली दूरदर्शन पे, फिर कहीं लाइव शोज पटना में भी उनका हुआ था. तो जब वो संतूर बजाते थे तो जिस तरह से वो बजाते थे उनके उनके चेहरे पे वो खुशी, वो दुख, वो सारी चीजें आती थी एक्सप्रेशन. Similarly, because why he became a good artist because he used to live with his instrument. तो टीचर्स का इंस्ट्रूमेंट क्या है? टीचिंग. सो इफ अनलेस until you enjoy, you live your teaching, you actually cannot be a great leader. So as a teacher, I think that I suggest all my teachers and all my colleagues, if you are teaching, you must understand the feeling of teaching. You must understand the topic so that when you are narrating it, when you are teaching, the students need not have to take the any other guides. Now, give the speaker regular that feedback. आप अपने speaker को regular that you must be thrilled or I can see how that could be. That any type of feedback what you wanted, you want to give it and you should accept it also. Pay attention to what isn't said. तो जो ऐसे हैं जो बहुत सारी ऐसी चीजें हैं जो आप नहीं बता रहे हैं but then you are expressing it with the body language that also needs to be explained. अब वर्बल कम्युनिकेशन का पॉजिटिव एंड इफेक्टिव वर्बल कम्युनिकेशन में क्या है? तो आप कॉम्प्लेक्स वर्ड्स के जगह पे आप सिंपल वर्ड्स यूज करो. अवॉइड वर्डी फ्रेजेस. कीप इट सिंपल, डायरेक्ट, अंडरस्टैंडेबल, जो मैंने पहले भी कहा है. बेटर कम्युनिकेशन का मतलब होता है दैट यू हैव इंक्रीज्ड एफिशिएंसी. आपने अपनी एफिशिएंसी को बढ़ाया है ताकि अगला उसको सुन सके, देख सके और उसको समझ सके. Now, stage two professional growth strategies जो है, now we are having. So, this slide is I think one of the most important slides for this entire session for everyone. Now, every teacher, if you want to be you want to attain a growth in professional career, first thing you need to have a mentor. अब ये mentor आप किसको बनाते हैं? तो mentor आप किसी ऐसे व्यक्ति को बनाएं जिस व्यक्ति से आपको मैक्सिमम सीखने को मिलता है इन योर ओन फील्ड. एंड इट इज नॉट दैट once you have made a mentor you cannot change the mentor. So mentors may change on account of your priority. So you need to have a mentor. Ask for more responsibilities. अगर आप स्कूल में काम करते हैं, किसी कॉलेज में काम करते हैं, whichever position you are working as a maybe a peon or you are working as a principal. आप जो भी क्राइटेरिया में काम करो, as a coordinator, as a in-charge, don't wait for the organization, the management to give you the responsibility. You should come up with your own, you can say, proposals if you want to grow, because out of maybe 200 people, those who are those who are working in your school as your colleague, out of them, many are in the line of competitions. But competition is one side, but I think the people who are a good leader, who deserves to be a good leader, shall not wait for the opportunity to come. They create opportunities. Take performance reviews seriously. I'll give you example. अगर टीचर है, किन्हीं की कॉपीज आ गई प्रिंसिपल के दरवाजे पर, and the principal has given a note that you need to work on language, you need to work on spelling, you need to work on your maybe the grammar. Don't get disheartened. This is the reviews. What the principal, what the coordinators, what your HOD has given is not to demoralize you. It is there so that you can work on your drawbacks and can rise above the expectations. Master your industry. अपने जिस भी क्षेत्र में आप हैं उसमें आपको चाहिए कि एकदम आपको विश्वास हो, आपके अंदर में एक दिस इज मास्टर मीन्स आप उसको साधना कर सकें उसके ऊपर में. मैप योर गोल्स. मैप योर गोल्स मीन्स यू नीड टू अंडरस्टैंड कि आपको क्या अचीव करनी है. हाँ, ड्रॉ अ लाइन ऑफ एक्शन दैट हाउ यू आर गोइंग टू अचीव इट इन ईयर्स टू कम. तो ये बहुत इंपॉर्टेंट होता है. आपके अपने जो है, जो जिस फील्ड में आपको, वहां पे यू हैव टू एक्वायर टाइम टू टाइम द डिग्रीज टू शार्पन योर स्किल्स. नाउ आइडेंटिफाई गैप्स. जहां आपको लगती है कि कहीं कुछ गैप्स हैं, यू नीड टू वर्क ऑन दैट वन. नाउ डिस्कम्फर्ट जोन एक बहुत इंपॉर्टेंट पॉइंट है. दैट से यस टू डिस्कम्फर्ट जोन. Say yes to discomfort zone means everyone, like suppose if a history, somebody is a history background or somebody is a bio background, but in CBSE class 10th you have a science teacher, you don't have the bio teacher. So a person who is coming from biology background may be given science, and science includes physics, chemistry and biology. Similarly, the same thing goes with the social sciences. Now the teacher who is from the economics background cannot teach geography, but person with a geography background again cannot speak, or they cannot actually teach history and political science. So it is the job of a teacher who is there to actually come out from the comfort zone and work on the discomfort zone. कि उनकी ज्योग्राफी बैकग्राउंड है या हिस्ट्री बैकग्राउंड है या बायोलॉजी बैकग्राउंड है, वो तो उनका बैकग्राउंड है. बट जो सब्जेक्ट साइंस के या आर्ट्स के उनके छूटे हुए हैं, he or she needs to work on that one so that you are working on the discomfort zone. Consider your work-life balance. So consider your work-life balance. ठीक है, जैसे आप कोई भी काम में व्यस्त हैं, तो आपको ये भी प्लान करनी होगी that how can I have a balance with my work and my life. Focus on your health. This is very important. The corona period has actually taught us how to work on the health. If you are healthy, definitely you are going to have any war, you can settle down your life in a better manner. But if your health is down, then you are finished. So I request all my viewers with whom we are having interaction right now to kindly actually take your health with a serious note, because if you are healthy, your work will be healthy. If your work is healthy, your life will be healthy. So kindly work on that one. Go for me first frame of mind. कोई भी काम आप क्रिएट करते हैं स्कूल में, या आपको लगता है that you can do it, so आप आगे बढ़ के उसको लें. Kindly receive it, come forward, receive it, and this me first frame of mind can make you a leader. You have to lead always from front. Now there is the action plan. So the action plan आज हम लोग इसको लेके चलते हैं that what will you do to implement a concept from today's session. अगर हम लोगों ने आज के जो सेशन है नीड्स एंड वेज ऑफ प्रोफेशनल ग्रोथ ऑफ अ टीचर जो हम लोगों ने डिस्कस किया है, तो इससे हम क्या ड्रॉ करते हैं, what we have drawn from this one that we need to work on. When will you do this? So suppose if we have discussed about this program right now, the needs and ways of professional growth of a teacher. So when you are going to like implement it in your life, what results do you expect and how will they be measured? That also needs to be re-evaluated by all of us. And what assistance will you need to implement your plan? That also needs to be checked. You need to chalk down all the you can say these plans, so that now before I conclude, one very important thing which I wanted to discuss with all of you, like I started why I put these slides so comprehensive is the only reason is I started my teaching career from a school in Patna, and my action plan was ready at that time. I'm sharing it as a conclusion. Please understand it. So I found the teachers, those who taught me, they were there, they become my colleague, and most of them, basically very learned teachers, they were very happy what they are. Now, nothing wrong in that one, but they were happy for wrong reasons. Most of them, they were happy for the wrong reasons. Now, what was the wrong reason? The wrong reason was I hardly find teachers in staff room talking about lesson plan, about students' future, about you can say growth of the organization, about the maybe the skills of development for themselves, but they were basically discussing about the economics of the life and investments, about the food what has been served by the school, and this was the story of almost every day. So I decided that day that if I'm into this system, probably this is not the thing I'm looking forward from a teacher, because I have seen only one phase of a teacher, like from the student's point of view, prior to that. So when I see the teachers closely and become the part of that community, teaching community, I find basically three types of teachers. One is a very active, proactive people, those who are always ready to take the things, जैसे यहाँ पर अभी लिखा हो गया है, जैसे ये me first. So they are always waiting for the options and opportunity to grab the opportunities. एक ये टीचर्स थे. दूसरे ऐसे टीचर्स हैं जिनको they are basically neither very much involved, but if you assign them the work, they will complete the work, they will finish the work, and probably they will not give you even you can say the time to repent कि आपको ये अफसोस नहीं हुआ कि मैंने मेरे साथ ये है. So this is number two classification. And number three classification is basically it belongs to that classification of teachers in any school I'm talking about, that who always tries to find out the flaws. But all three are important. I don't say that the first one, second one, or third one, and the first one is the best, and second one is not good, third one is the burden. They all three are good for the school, because if you are getting criticisms, you can find out solutions out of that. You just need to identify such people in your system and then make a proper use of them. Like if you have seen a movie called Lagan, you may recall how Amir Khan utilized the people in his team to defeat the British team, the colonial team, the you can say the English team, because some was having the defect in this arm, some was having problem with, but some is more powerful. So the true leader, the person who want to be a leader, the person who want to grow as a teacher, is such person who minutely make an observation of not only I'm talking about in terms of teachers, but I'm talking about in terms of students, because you also have these three classification of students in your class. So if you know them properly, you can find a better work for them. And if you assign the good work, I think your things will be done. So with this, I think we are uh, uh, on you can say on completion of this one. Thank you very much. I thank Dr. Rajiv Ranjan Sinha sir again for giving me this opportunity to interact with all learned people, and thanks to all members of Patliputra Swadhyaya and COE Patna for conducting such a wonderful piece of interaction with teachers as a training program. Thank you. Thank you, sir. Any questions you can ask me.